Alright, good morning. Where are we at? We are at level 90. That's very interesting. Very nice indeed. So, for anyone who felt that we were cutting it short yesterday, we were talking about chat clients, social media clients. And that they're banning people left and right, like a lot of them. I think we were talking about Discord banning people for political reasons. And I was thinking that there might be some good things coming out of that. Oops.
Exile.
And at that time, Nodrunner said that, well, no, that's not how it works. I want to buy everything. Yeah, let's just buy everything. Because he had seen it happen before with a social media place called the Gab. So I'm confused here. Like, this here is not complete. I've probably just not done that upgraded, I guess. Here we go. Oh, hello, Node Runner. Shut up. I was thinking that I would have to go through this twice. But good morning and good evening to you. I was just talking about the Gab thing we were talking about yesterday. The people banning stuff from Discord and other places. And you recommended that I check in Gab. I did that last night. I checked it out. Your argument was that, what was it again? That it won't be a catalyst for open source alternatives, that won't work. And you used Gab as an example. Now, I see your point, and I also don't... I kind of want to say that that's an it's like anecdotal evidence kind of deal, you know. It's like maybe Gab started out as an open source thingy deal. I don't know. I didn't look into that much. But then, like, it was in a perfect storm. It kind of seems like. So a lot of people with specific political predilection just flooded the gates to Gab, I think. And then Gab changed its tunes to be about that type of politics. That's the impression I got. Anyways, I haven't looked into it as much as you, but that is the way it seemed. And I would say that even if and it's a bit sad, you know, just thinking about political discourse and people getting excluded from, like, people not talking to each other. Like, the best people to talk to is the ones you disagree with, right? So they've created their own little filter bubble, those kind of people in Gab. You were saying that using it nowadays would be stigmatized, and I see your point there, but personally I would argue for, if, like, especially if you don't disagree, if you disagree with the people on Gab, I would argue that there is value. There's value in what am I looking for? There would be value to go there and do discourse with people you disagree with, right? If you don't mind getting shit on. Right, because of the context. I see what you mean. You couldn't start using Gab. Probably it would be very difficult to get your friends and what not to use Gab, and oh, can we use Gab? It's free and open source. Like, if your friends don't agree with those politics, you probably won't get anywhere. Which is kind of sad, I suppose. But then again, that feels like a whole other discussion about fragmentation. Like, some people are on Twitter, some people are on Facebook, some people are on Signal, and other people are on, as the dude Furcha said yesterday, like Telegram. Like, I'm on Signal, and other people are on Telegram. Like, so, and even though it just Gab became a filter bubble of sorts, okay, and that's its sad thing in itself, I would still argue that it's a good thing for, like, that it became popular is good for people who care about free and open source software, right? Because, like, whatever their politics, they are doing a free and open source thing. More people are actively using free and open source thing. Like, if it was a reaction to people getting banned. I don't like people getting banned, but it is a little bit of a silver lining, I suppose. Node Runner says Gab runs on Mastodon, an open source Twitter alternative. Yeah. There we go. So, I mean, like, even if you don't agree with their politics, and Gab being unfortunately, like, it's not an inclusive alternative, it's still an open source alternative, right? So from an open source perspective, I would say that more people are using open source and more people are looking to open source, right? So that's a win for open source, right? Alright, and you were saying you will be grouped in with the racists if you use it. I mean, by whom? That's also an important question. Like, who would group you within, like, if that makes any sense, that question? Like, some person might group you in with them, and that person you can tell them, but, like, I didn't even see, I mean, I didn't spend a lot of time in Gab. I didn't necessarily see a lot of racism. But again, I didn't spend very much time there. I saw, like, American right-wingers. That's what I saw. And I wouldn't necessarily call all of them racist. Would be... Let's see, Node Runner says, this was their independent decision, but I think it's wrong. It's akin to web browser blocking access to a website because the creator disagrees with political views expressed therein. I mean, even though I don't agree with your... Oh, good morning, good evening, Banana Waffle Monkey. Even though I don't agree with the language you use, like calling it wrong, I do have similar political views that I would prefer my online forums. Let's call them that. We could call them all forums, right? Places for discussion, places for talking to other people. Like, I would prefer to see a world where 2 AM says Banana Waffle Monkey. Yeah, good evening. Morning for me. I would like to see a world where none got banned. Well, I mean, I could see people getting banned or maybe even just timed out for being annoying pieces of shit. But like, for like putting your political views out there, I would, like, from my view of democracy, right? I would encourage everybody to talk politics everywhere at all times. So banning someone for politics, that is, from my view of democracy, something very bad. Oh, Banana Waffle Monkey got his first Crescent Splinter tonight. I'm curious, I don't know what a Crescent Splinter is, so I'm gonna have to have a look on that after this little ritual. If that makes any sense, right? So yeah, agreeing. And a way to reach that place, I mean, would probably be an open source thing. I was actually thinking about that as well, like maybe the best thing is just IRC. Maybe one should start using IRC as, like, I don't use a lot of social media, but maybe just use an IRC channel. Why not? What's wrong with IRC channels, right? When 10 are combined, says Banana Waffle Monkey, they make the invitation to the Mavens fight. Oh. And you just got your first? Holy shit, this is really endgame.
I'm not up to that just yet.
From 10 away, and then says Banana Waffle Monkey, oh man, I'm glad you're talking about that. About what? A great class about... we had a great conversation in class today about that, he says. Specifics, man. What have I been talking about? I've been talking about Discord and politics and this looks rough, man. How to handle political conversation and hot topics like that and their role in the classroom. Well, yeah, that's very interesting indeed. Like, for me, you know what I feel about democracy and like how to increase democracy. It's about increasing people's involvement, right? But I would, in the classroom also, I would also want to do, like, try to, in that forum, not have it, like, political discussions can often run amok, right? So if you're trying to count math, like, try to do the conversation from a point of view that is connected to whatever subject you're in, right?
Tell a Moana warrior, flee if you do not wish to die. No.
I think political discourse is valuable in all forums of society, especially where you meet people, like, especially in work, online, in the classroom, like, especially where you can meet people you disagree with, right? That is why I feel I don't like people getting banned from anywhere. for speaking politically. Then, but also, like, I'm not. It's quite interesting.
Just yet.
Like people, I don't know who's banning what for who. I haven't looked into that, but my guess is like, I could. I wouldn't vilify the people who are banning. I would just call them stupid, because I would, like, if someone is trying to ban people to stop racism from spreading or whatever, I would be on their side politically, right? I like being inclusive. And I would find it ironic that they're banning people then, because, like, that's not inclusive. So I would call them, like, this is not how you reach your goal, I would say. But I would not mind them trying to reach a similar goal to me. That is what we talked about yesterday, right? Changed my tune on that a little bit. Like, for just a couple of days ago, I would always say that, like, any attempt to manipulate from those people in charge, like the Twitter people, any way for them to, like, change the political landscape, let's call it that, I would disagree with completely and fully, right? I would have done that, but then just yesterday we had this talk, and, you know, about the consequences, and since I'm a moral relativist, right, I need to make the decision on every political discussion, right? And I don't like banning or people from the top trying to manipulate people at the bottom. But I would have to, like, if they are manipulating in something else that is in my favor, what I think that I agree with, then maybe it's, you know, moral relativism for the win. Node Runner says, there's a rising censorship movement. Don't like that. Some of them I like, some of them I dislike, but in general, I don't like censorship. Some people believe that there's a duty to halt false information and correct the record. Well, I do agree with that, but I do have a point on that later. If you saw the Bertissim video from yesterday, it pissed me off to no end. I was super sad about that. Incorrect the record. The logical conclusion to this idea is that people cannot be trusted to think for themselves, yeah, and make their own decisions. Well, and people can't. They haven't been taught, right? Common sense is not common. It's something that you need to learn, and people haven't been taught. So people, like, thinking for yourself is a skill that has to be betrayed. But I agree with you, there is this implicit that people cannot be trusted. I would agree with you there that that's a silly conclusion, that's a silly premise. Make their own decisions. Like, yeah, even if people are not very good at thinking for themselves, they still can make their own decisions. I would agree with you on that. And he continues, and that there are some sort of absolute truth that must be conformed to. And I would say that personally, I would argue for moving towards an, well, absolute truth is not the words that I would use, but I would use the word facts. Right. I love science. I really do. Like how we do science and what we call facts, and that methodology of reaching truth, I would argue that is something that we should like, I would push for it hard. So, like, when all of humanity agrees, well, most of humanity, all of humanity agreeing on something, that's a pipe dream. But you know, when the common knowledge of how to reach truth, or let's say facts, is a certain way, then communication becomes so much easier, right? Because facts are relevant to moral and ethical discussion, like how we should all behave towards each other. Like, say, if everybody agrees that the absolute truth is, well, their world view is that, say, the Christian God, because that makes sense to all of us. I think we know a lot about that, and the Bible, right? Then everybody is like, we base our moral discussions on the Bible, right? If we base it in facts and science, we will base it in psychology. How will this make people feel? So I would argue for a movement towards an idea of truth, but censorship does not take us there. That is like, censorship does not take us there at all. It's like immoral, like, if we're trying to find, like, there are no absolute truths in moral and ethics. Well, there are truths, like, we have utilitarianism means this, and that's a fact that it means this. Then a person can make an interpretation of what utilitarianism, what that means, right? But it's still, that word means that. Like I was arguing with you yesterday, Node Runner, that God bless, it means God bless, right? It has a meaning, even though intent might intend something different, but it still has that very meaning. Banana Waffle Monkey says the topic was racism. I mean, the topic is just exemplary of the discussion, right? Banana Waffle Monkey. I mean, racism might be a good thing. Banana Waffle Monkey did the same argument I just did. He did that in class. He argued that you shouldn't shut down a student who says something racist. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Because if you do, you missed a valuable opportunity to dissect those beliefs and find out where they come from. That is very interesting. That is a very interesting discussion. Like, how far are you as a teacher allowed to manipulate kids? Like, I'm thinking, like, I've had that a view that teachers should be unbiased, right? Because, like, we know more, and that the teacher should be a bastion of facts and truths, and keeps his or her own opinions out, right? Well, the teacher should probably, like in political situations, it's probably a good idea to present your beliefs, just to inform the kids of any possible biases, right? But also trying your damned hardest not to right? Your focus should be on the facts, right? So, like, your job as a teacher is not to get rid of racism, right? But you don't like racism is your opinion, and your opinion is not what you're supposed to push on the kids, I guess. So if you have a racist kid that, I mean, you can teach the kid to think for him or herself and teach them to how to evaluate their own views. If that makes any sense? Node Runner says, yeah, exactly, and I agree with this. People who get shut down, don't change their beliefs. They fester them, and probably the problem gets worse. Yeah, it's what's happened with Gab, right? Your example, spot on, Node Runner, right? A lot of people getting shut down, and so what do they leave? They stop talking with everybody else, and instead they move on to a their filter bubbles get stronger, right? They get excluded. There you go. They get excluded from, and like some bad ideas that maybe could be challenged in other places never will. Your ideas being challenged, that is how they get better, right? You need a challenge. And I'm guessing there's not a lot of people challenging the people on Gab over there. That is a little bit where I come from as well. Like, with my teacher's statement, right? Oh man, I don't like arcade. Let's go. That the teacher who has the idea that, oh, this political view is bad, I should change it. It doesn't work any sense to. It doesn't make any sense to me at all, because that type of manipulation does not help anyone, right? It's not a valuable opportunity to. Well, yeah, I think I misread Banana Waffle Monkey earlier. He said to miss a valuable opportunity to dissect those beliefs and find out where they come from. I would agree with that. I did not make a charitable interpretation of that sentence, and I apologize, Banana Waffle Monkey. I somehow got that to mean that you should try to change the student's mind, but you didn't say that, and I apologize for that interpretation. I mean, then again, like, I guess, yeah, it's a valuable opportunity to get to know your student, and the better you know your student, the better teacher you can become, right? And that discussion is not about politics anymore, then it's just about you understanding your students. And I can see that. Becoming a better teacher, the better you understand your students, I guess. Node Runner says racists are getting shut down everywhere. It's only making the problem of racism worse. Yeah. It's like, for the people who get shut down, they get pissed off. It's like, did you see the Veritism video yesterday? I was the one feeling shut down. Holy shit, and censored, by the way. He was talking to Bill Gates, and you can imagine my thoughts about Bill Gates. Being an open source nerd, not liking Windows and all that. But actually, it's not me disliking Bill Gates. It's not. I haven't seen no, says Node Runner. Well, I'll explain it. It was kind of short. Well, the point I want to talk about was kind of short. Like, it was maybe a 10-minute video. I just want to talk about one point that pissed me off in it. You don't have to see it if you don't want to. Not for this discussion. I'll get to it. I just want to explain where I'm coming from first before I talk about the video. So I have the issue with Bill Gates that, like, he's doing a lot of things. He's a modern politician, right? He's manipulating countries and stuff. Like, he gives them money as long as they do what he wants with them, right? But I don't like that kind of attitude. I mean, a lot of the stuff that he's doing, I think that he does them is good. It's just I would wish him not to be such an asshole about it, right? That is my view of Bill Gates and his foundation. Like, a lot of the stuff, they're doing great things, charitable work. It's just I wish that they would not be such assholes about it and just be such control freaks. There we go. He's a control freak. He wants everyone to do exactly what he wants. So, in the Veritissium video, Veritissium looked into, like, they were talking about the corona vaccines, right? Because of course they were, because he's been, like, they showed a clip where Bill Gates warned for, you maybe have seen this, like in 2015 he made great warnings, like the biggest problem humanity has right now is, like, that will kill most people within the next 10 years. The biggest risk is probably a virus, he said in 2015. I mean, he did that, and I saw that TED video and I agreed with it. Like, we need to have systems in place for this. We didn't, and now a virus came, so a lot of people, oh, Nostradamus, you can see the future. It's, yeah. He had a good point. Something like this. So he has been working a lot with throwing money at the works at getting a vaccine, right? He's been a big part of that. Then a university had a vaccination idea opened. I don't remember. I think it was the Oxford University or something like that. And they said that they were gonna open source it. I do love my open source, right? Because their thoughts were more people who work on it and can help out to develop this vaccine. Like, you know, open source is the best, right? It's the best way to develop, right? So the more eyes that can help out, the better, they thought. But Bill Gates went in and just stopped them, said no.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Nodrunner says, there's been some campaign having influencers talk with experts about the vaccine and why it's not a Trojan horse to manipulate your DNA, among other conspiracy theories. Yes. And that is exactly what this was. It was part of that campaign. So, what they were saying or talking about then, like, they were talking about people giving Bill Gates flack for shutting this down, because of course the universities doesn't say no to Bill Gates, whether they would disagree with him or not. It's like, all that money? You don't say no to all that money, because since that's the money that pays for the vaccine, right? Don't say no to the money. That's why Bill Gates is such an asshole. He's utilizing that for his own gains. So then he gave some, like, Veritissium brought this up, which I thought, good on you, like sticking it to the man and, you know, really asking those questions. But then it quickly just flipped over and they were just talking about conspiracy theories. They did not answer my concerns about the open source question at all. They did not mention it. So I felt like really they like, I'm guessing most people that doesn't like what Bill Gates did there, well, maybe not most people, but a lot of people would argue that open sourcing stuff is a good idea. And they started framing the question like that, but then they finished and all they talked about was conspiracy theories. And that is what we call straw manning. They had no one who cared about open source there to ask them. They just called us all conspiracy theorists, which I'm not. I don't think that he has any malicious intent in what he's doing. I just think he's stupid, right? And I disagree with his views on open source. Like, it's stupid. He is stupid. He's a stupid dude with a lot of money. And like, it was like they cherry pick a couple of people. Oh, look at these conspiracy theories. Therefore, open source is bad. That is what they said, and that pissed me off. I really like Veritasium, but he dropped the ball. He really dropped the ball. It's very sad. Very sad indeed.
Time to go.
Yeah. But what you gotta do? And that is like that feeling that I had seeing that video.
To that just yet.
I'm guessing that's the feeling a lot of racists have when anyone else talks about racism. Right? They feel invalidated. They are invalidated, right? There's a lot of cherry picking and straw manning going around. Noderunner says, that's sad to hear. I wish he advocates for open source more, considering he hosts his videos on library. Yeah, and again, I don't think of any malicious intent from his part either, right? I think that is what he was aiming to do, right? He just screwed up. He just screwed up, like that is why I'm pretty sure that he likes open source. And that's like, since he's hosting his stuff on library, I would assume the same. I don't remember if I've seen him talk about it any time. But, you know, I'm guessing like the whole point of him bringing that question up is it's an open source thing, right? But then again, it was framed in such a way to fight conspiracy theorists, and he didn't, like, in the context, he didn't see those consequences, right? I think it was a mistake from his part, and just, yeah, made open source look bad. I don't think that was his intent, but that was the consequence. Like, painted us open source nerds in the same light as conspiracy theorists.
We get to finding the temple in the present day. Every incursion needs proper preparations.
Where should I open up here? I mean, since this is in the middle, we could assume that we will get a chance to open a route up, like here. So maybe to the Tempest generator? Or up to one of these rooms. Just to have that over and done with.
Let's go.
I don't know.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Oh, here we are. That's the one I'm opening up. Make the decision on the fly. Oh, but also we touched a little bit on it, but an issue that I have seen, that I have with a lot of things now, is just general fragmentation. Like, social media has like screwed up kind of majorly. There's a lot of issues with social media. Like, you know that I have an inclusive type of personality and political views, and like
Good job, Exile.
one thing that was good about
The royal
Facebook. Everybody had Facebook, right? Oh, fuck. Where's all my mana? Can I get any mana back? No? Like, some people are on Twitter, some people are on Facebook, some people are on Gab. Some people are here, some people are there. I would want online public forums. Where is that? Where do we find an online public forum? Where everyone is welcome and... Well, no, not just that everyone is welcome. It's somewhere... Oh man, I should have dropped some stuff off. So let's go do that. Like, we have enough trouble with Google just filter bubbling their results. And I mean, even if they didn't do that, like, even if you used DuckDuckGo, their algorithm is filtering stuff as well, right? There's no avoiding it. That's a good roll, isn't it? Yeah, 200. Like, and taking steps to try to mitigate filter bubbling and getting getting what? Not getting your ideas challenged. I would want to work for that, and one way to do that is to put everybody in somewhere over the rainbow. I don't know. Just putting everybody together in a melting pot and having them talk it out. And vote it out. I would like... Could you imagine like some combination of like Facebook, Reddit, like a social media, but it's focused on politics, right? So the discussion is intentionally political, where one could, where one is encouraged to vote on what they consider are good arguments, right? So you have like a political question that is discussed here, wherever here is, like in like a Reddit post or whatever, you know, some sort of stuff like that.
My mana is gone.
You have a man, I hate Baron. Baron is such an asshole. And then you have a discussion, like two discussions next side to side, where you get the highest voted posts for on the one side and against on the other side. And you vote the post, like the best arguments end up in the tops, and then you can scroll down as far as you like. You have the question, and then in the question you just, it's a poll, right? So you press I'm for or I'm against, and then you can scroll down and watch the arguments, and you can change if you're for or against whenever you like. Just having that kind of thing, and then having the like the main page, or the what's it called, the wall, is that what it's called, this thing you scroll through just when you scroll, you know, that would be political questions that are relevant now for our politicians, that they are like, we're having a representative democracy, right? A republic, I think it's called, someone said. Like, they have discussions or topics that they are voting on right now. Can you imagine having everybody in your country just showing what they think about this question on an app? And the politicians, it would make their jobs easier, right? If they were to represent the people, they could see, what do the people actually think about this question? That would be super helpful for them to be able to make their job and in representing the people, right? I think I like Breach.
Time to go.
Nodrunner says that the internet was not designed to be a portal to a few giant websites. It was designed to be a place where anyone could host their own website. Yeah, anyone can host their own website, right? And share their ideas and project without censorship. I'm not so sure. That doesn't make sense to me. I believe we can return to that, but we need to rethink and re-architect the web. I don't know a lot about history. Like, history is not my big deal, but it doesn't make any sense to me that it was designed to be a place where anyone could share their own ideas. Wasn't it designed to be a network to send data across long distances as fast as possible? Isn't that the design? I mean, they designed a tool, right? You're talking about what people can do with that tool. Right? I would argue for not bringing in political views in a tool. Right? Like you were saying, we shouldn't ban people for saying political things. That is bringing politics into the tool that you've built. I would argue for people just, like the people working on any tool, like whether it is Twitter or the internet or whatever, I would argue that their job is to build the best tool that they can. Right? And then how people use it is not up to them. Oh, let's try that again. Like that, it's that type of thinking that leads to censorship, right? When you want to tell people how to use the tool that you've built. That's the Bill Gates kind of view of the world. I built this tool. I put this money in. I need to decide how to use it.
You've decided to keep the architect of the breach alive. I honestly don't know what he'll do in that room.
Right, and I would also say that isn't the internet like that? Anyone can host their own website, right? It's easier than now than it has ever been before. There are like... You go to another website and you just... They have an automatic thing that like almost builds the entire website for you. The only thing you have to do is add the content that you want to add. Right, so anyone can. The issue is not about, it's not a top-down structural issue with a few big websites. A few big websites is what happened. And I would argue the reason that it happened, well, there are many reasons. One of the reasons are fuck, I died. Well, it doesn't matter, I'm level 90, so I would argue one of the reasons that we have a couple of few huge big websites is because that is what people gravitated towards. Like, if people would have, well, I would also say it's a little bit top down, like Google had a hand in it, right? But I would also argue that, like, what's my favorite web page? It's a big one. It's a big, giant, single website for a single purpose, and I fucking love it, and that is Wikipedia. Fucking love Wikipedia, man. Right? Node Runner says the internet has lost diversity. Well, I don't think that statement is true either. I think the internet has a lot of diversity. It's just the majority of users of the internet don't look around through that huge diversity, right? There are a lot of strange websites out there that are out there, they just don't get visited. So I wouldn't say that the internet has lost diversity. It's the users who don't engage with the diversity. Would you agree with that, Node Runner? Your individual agency is diminished as a result of these huge services. I would again argue that your agency is unaffected. It's you, it's the individual who is using, voting with your wallet, right? And using these huge services. Like me, I'm preferring to use Wikipedia, right? And I'm preferring not to use Google. That is not up to anyone but me, right? I mean, I do agree that there is some manipulation, like big Google money manipulating you to stick within Google's Google's what? What is it? Infrastructure. There we go. I mean, the best thing for Google is for everybody to be using Google, so of course Google is manipulating people to stay on Google. But I would actually not argue that that is a problem with the structure of the internet. I would structure that as a problem of education. And people like this diminished, this perceived diminished individual agency. That, I mean, I see a problem within there. I just wouldn't call it diminished individual agency. But I see your point, and I would agree that there is a problem within that thought. Well, not a problem per se, but I would also like to see greater variety, I guess, in where people go for their information, I suppose. Node Runner says, I think we need a decentralized web like Bitcoin for the internet. But the web is decentralized, isn't it? Isn't that the whole point? I could, if I wanted to, just start hosting a website from my computer, right? I could make my computer into a server and host whatever I like. Isn't that decentralized? Or am I ignorant on how the internet works now? I'm curious. I'm actually curious, if you're still here, Banana Waffle Monkey, what did people in your classroom say against, like, having political discussions in the classroom in general? Like, what argument are we not countering? You seen a blight map? You will respond in a second. That's actually a good idea. I've neglected doing blight maps. Because I assume that some people would argue, like, against a lot of what we're saying here. Like, there's probably good arguments for not discussing politics everywhere, I guess. Nodrunner says that the internet is not decentralized. It has multiple single points of failure. Yeah, I mean, it's like, if we cut the cables between America and Europe, that internet takes a big hit, right? And I mean, that's an infrastructural thing, right? Rather than saying that it's not decentralized. Like, we would have to draw so many cables, right? For the web to be interconnected. Like, having so many pathways to call it decentralized. I actually thought about that, like having, like, a lot of people have Wi-Fi routers, right, at home. Everybody puts locks on them. Why not just open all the Wi-Fi routers up and having that as a backup, right? Having them sending, like, I'm sending the internet to my neighbor, through my neighbor, as a backup, like as a redundancy system. Wouldn't that be a good idea? Node Runner says cables is a thing of the past, by the way. Are they? I'm having a cable into the house I'm at now. Fiber cable. quantum internet is the future. I've never heard about quantum internet. They can't even do quantum computers yet. So how would they make quantum internet? That is interesting. I need to see this. Let's move you out of the way. Quantum internet. Oh, look at that. My favorite webpage. Huge, big. Like, it's the collection of all our knowledge, right? And I would argue that this here is a good use of internet. Like one big website for all collected knowledge of humanity. I would argue that as well for like a political voting system like I was talking about earlier. I would argue for that as one big web page as well as being useful tools. And I would also argue that everybody should have their own website. I don't have one. But there are good things, like we can just for working against censorship, right? As a backup. Having people meet at decentralized where nobody can control the content but you. This article is about the implementation and operation of quantum networks. For a mathematical description of quantum communication channels, see quantum channel. Quantum networks form an important element of quantum computing, right? That is not really a thing, not quite yet. So saying cables is the past is a little bit, yeah, maybe this is the future, but cables is not the past. Cables is the present, and some bits of the future as well. And Skynet is the future as well, right? Form an important element of quantum computing and quantum communication systems. Quantum networks facilitate the transmission of information in the forms of quantum bits, also called qubits, between physically separated quantum processes. Yeah, I mean, the latest I heard about this was just a few years ago, and it's way off being publicly accessible. Even more like everybody having a little quantum computer at home being part of the internet. If you want a decentralized internet, that is what it would take, right? That I'm not even sure that'll happen under my lifetime. A quantum processor is a small quantum computer being able to perform quantum logic gates, like that, on a certain number of qubits. Quantum networks works in a similar way to a classical network. The main difference is that quantum networking, like quantum computer, is better at solving certain problems, such as modeling quantum systems. And as far as I understand, like even when quantum computer starts working, it's not a replacement of the regular PC, the regular CPU. It works a little bit differently and is better at some things, but not all things. Like some things it's like so much better at, but other stuff that takes normal logic gates, I suppose. So I don't think it's a replacement per se. Maybe the quantum network is a replacement, I guess. Networked quantum computer or distributed quantum computing works by linking multiple quantum processors through a quantum network by sending qubits in between them. It's networking. It's the internet, right? It's a network. Doing this creates a quantum computing cluster and therefore creates more computing potential. That I do like, though. Less powerful computers can be linked in this way to create one more powerful processor. It's the same way like networks were used, right? When they started building networks for the normal computers. Yeah, exactly. This is anal to connecting several classical computers in form of a computer cluster in classical computing. Yep. This is scalable by adding more and more quantum computers. Right, nice. But I mean, this seems like you do this through cables, right? You connect them through cables still, so cables still isn't a thing of the past. I think that even when Skynet is up and running and everybody gets free internet, which is, by the way, super far from decentralized, it's all in the hands of the Musk, right? I still think that those satellites will still, they will not replace cables. Just like our mobile internet has not replaced cables. I think they can all work together, right? Cables is probably one of the most stable ways to do it. But you can have many different ways. That's like why I argued for opening up everybody's Wi-Fi routers to talk to each other as like redundancy backups, right? Just like if I have a cable, then I can use the satellites as backups, right? Or even speed increasers. Quantum internet takes advantage of quantum entanglement or spooky action at a distance. You don't need cables, it's lower hanging fruit than quantum computers. Oh really? Have they come that far working with entanglement? I didn't know that. Yeah, spooky action at a distance. I love that word. I didn't think they were able to manipulate it that well. Oh, so you have like a networking... Well... Still don't know how you entangle to... Oh, instead of drawing a cable, you add one computer, you entangle however many bits you need, and you move the other entangled bits to another computer and put them in there. And then you have that like as a sending and receiving kind of a deal between these two computers. I'm guessing. I'm not a quantum scientist. I'm just a layman who find this stuff interesting. Not really understanding it. It's more spooky action at a distance for me than quantum entanglement, I guess. Node Runner says that they claim they've gotten it working. Clearly, he's not a researcher. Yeah. Spook action at a distance. No Runner says, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, getting it working is very far off from it being the next internet, so... I mean, maybe we'll see it. Probably not, though. More maps. Sure. Have more maps in the area. Let's have a sacrifice. And another scarab, I think. Or maybe even, do I have... No, I don't have. Alright then, I'm gonna use oils at the blighted map again. I forgot about that. So, but first let's get a fragment. Metamorph? No. Legion? No. Strongboxes? No. Adds shaper. There we go. Got those. Oh, can I talk to someone while having that opened?
Hello.
No. I don't remember which oils you want to use, unfortunately.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Who was using the oils again? At Cassia. There we go, Cassia. Anoint items. Node says that spooky action at a distance is a quote from Einstein, by the way. Yeah. Didn't know that. Varieties from items are lucky. Wonder if I can beat this. Towers deal 20% more damage. Increased experience gain. Nah. Just increased pack size. Towers deal more damage. Let's remove the red ones for now and just damage and pack size. Reduced movement speed. Here we go. Should I just get the reduced movement speed, like all together? Clear oil seems like a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. Here we go. Anoint. I hope scarabs work. I'm just assuming here that they will. Seems like it's working. It's working! It's working! Let me just put this portal over here so it's not in the way. Don't want to misclick that. Alright, so one could assume that most of the enemies will be coming from down here, right? Since this is the bigger area. I don't know. There we go. Wait, what's this? Imprisons enemies. Freezes enemies. So let's get the range on that one. And let's get the imprison. There we go.
I'm not up to that just yet. New roots. The blight is trying to spread.
Here we go. Seems like a good idea, and that seems like a good idea.
It's trying to spread. Blight is trying to spread.
Trying to spread, eh? Right, so this is imprisons, and this is freezes enemies. There we go. Ooh, a lot of enemies in here. The Node Runner talks about China, a long-time investor in quantum networks. That makes sense, I guess. He says that they have broken records on satellite-induced entanglement. Chinese scientists recently established entanglement and achieved QKD over a record-breaking 745 miles. QKD, I don't know. I'm guessing that's a manipulation at a certain range.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Do not let them reach the purification pump.
Right, so I need gold, need this. Need you to be ranged. No! The pump was destroyed. Fuck! Man, this is so stressful. I don't know. I don't even know where I failed. I don't even know where I failed. Oh, that's sad. Node Runner wonders if we could even have a quantum internet to Mars. Ooh, it would solve the latency problem with space internet. Right. Kinda cool. Quantum key distribution. It's a key exchange using quantum networks for maximum security. Alright. And I didn't get anything since I failed. Oh man, and I used like 2 scarabs and... Oh... That just felt bad. I just felt bad. I think I'll skip the blight mapping. It's not worth it. No one can snoop your communication through QKD. Ah, there we go. It's the ultimate encryption? Maybe it's not encryption. But right, yeah, if you send from one quantum entangled thing over here to another one over here-ish, you send... Oh man, it's difficult knowing how the camera works. You know, sending from one thing here and one thing here, and there is nothing in between. It's just these two things. Then there is no snooping, right? There is no snooping. There's just this and this.
Blessings.
No snooping allowed. Did I? Did buy... Thought I have too few chisels, but you know, what are you gonna do? Node Runner says, yeah, exactly. There is no snooping. It's not even encryption or anything like that. Oh, I kept all of these. Nice. But that would still have to be like...
I'm not up to that just yet.
Like you need to entangle stuff, right? So I don't see that becoming... A system like that becoming decentralized. I don't see that happening. Like, because you need to have actual... Well, I suppose one could do it, but you know, you need... I think it still, it wouldn't replace cables and whatnot, because you would still need... For a connection like that, you would need atoms or particles that has been entangled in the two places you want to communicate with each other, right? So if you and me wanted to make a quantum network, we would need to like have some particles, entangle them, put some of them in my computer and then send the rest to you. But that would be such a hassle. Instead of just connecting to an actual network through cables and whatnot. Node runner says we already know how to entangle. Yeah. It's they've known that for a long time now. How to entangle. Just doing anything with the entanglement that is the issue, I think. In theory, we could buy quantum networking equipment off the shelf. Yeah, it's like, but you would have to buy equipment off the shelf and then send me the other, like, I couldn't go to a store here next door and you couldn't go to your store and we couldn't quantum network with those equipments, right? Because we can't quantum entangle from a distance. Right? You would have to buy the equipment and send the equipment to me if we wanted to build a quantum network, right? And I mean, when those are that far away, then I mean maybe we send everything by drone everywhere, so maybe that wouldn't be such an issue.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Maybe that would be super easy to just send something across the world. That's no issue. Just send a drone. When quantum computing and quantum networking gets that far. Maybe that would become a non-issue. It's just an issue how it would be today. Look at this. Wait, is it triumphant that I wanted? Yes. We've got a crafting base. It's an exciting time to be alive, I think, compared to a lot of our ancestors. Like I remember I saw someone say that if we go back just a few generations, like go back to people who aren't alive today, people who died like in the... Let's go pre-1800, like all of your ancestors. Just think about them. All of them combined. Like that would be considered the Homo sapien. You have probably seen more naked women than they have combined. That's a fucked up thought, eh? Nodrunner says, I don't see why having to exchange entangled qubits is an issue. It's a lot more convenient and doable than running a cable from my computer to Sweden. Yes, 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 but we do want, like... The issue that I had was that it's just between yours and my computer, right? What about yours computer and my neighbor's computer and their neighbor's computer? Like, you can't connect through everyone in that manner, right? Because then you would have to send qubits to everyone, and then everyone would need to put corresponding, like... You see, it becomes a math problem for every computer that you would want to be networked with in that entangled way. You would have to connect to, right? Hello, Stelefina. How are you doing this morning and evening? Nice to see you again. We're talking sci-fi today. It's kind of fun. Like quantum networking and quantum computings. Stuff that I don't really understand, but still am super fascinated by. And I do like fascinations like that. Stelefina says, that's my favorite stuff. Oh, nice. Nice, nice. So, but like... love sci-fi shows. I do too. Like... some of them I don't like. I have seen The 100 more than once, actually. Really like those first seasons. And it kind of kept going for a long while as well. The latest season, it has been, the more recent seasons has been enjoyable, entertaining. I found them entertaining. But not like the first couple of seasons. Holy shit, they were great. The mystery of it all, and very nice. The darkness of it. You know how cable is a point-to-point connection? Yes. Yeah, but that's the point, though. That's the point I'm making. I have a point-to-point connection to my router, and my router has to switch and has to, like, you can have that, and you can have switches, right? That spreads out. Maybe you could do that with, like, have switches of quantum, like, so you don't connect. I don't connect to your computer. I connect to a node within the quantum network, just like we do with a cable. Is that what you're saying? That makes a lot of sense, of course. Quantum networking is also a point-to-point connection. Yeah, so you could get a quantum connection to a quantum ISP, and your neighbor could do the same, and exactly. And at the ISP, you're connected to each other and to the wider internet. And then again, you would have big single points of failure, right? It would be more decentralized than the current internet, I suppose, but it would still have, like, the issues that you have with the current internet would still be there, I suppose. And it would be more... I would also want to see like connecting them to each other in some way, like connecting the internet to the quantum network. Because I don't see, like, replacing the internet seems like that won't happen. Not for a long time. Just like we have many connections to the internet today, like connecting the quantum network to the actual internet seems like a good idea. Stelefina says that she loved 100 as well, except it turned to trash, like most shows do nowadays. It's fine. Last season was garbage. Yeah. The whole story with Ali was amazing. It got me into researching radiation resistance. Oh, that's interesting. Radiation resistance? Is that really doable? It sounds like it isn't. But yeah, like what was it? Like the first 3 seasons? Loved how they got a new, bigger enemy each season. It was power creep in a good way, I guess. We do have technology that is not too far off from the show. Neuralink is trying to create tech that connects to our brain. Yeah, that freaks Delphina out. It doesn't freak me out. I really want to. I would love to have one of those. Like, well, a better one. But I think I'll be dead before it gets to the point where they become so cool that I would want one, I think. But what makes the show so good is realizing a lot of these things could happen. Even Mount Weather is a real place. It's hella cool. That is my favorite types of sci-fi. It's like it's my favorite type of fantasy as well. They create a world and say just what if, and see how would these characters react in this world. What would happen? What would happen? That is my favorite kind of, because it's exploring human behavior and thought processes. Like it's an intellectual pursuit, I guess, of thinking how would people do in this situation. It's fun. I do enjoy it. The creator of the World Wide Web is actually trying to create an alternative. Is it just a single creator of the World Wide Web? That doesn't sound like... Maybe, I suppose. I know I've seen videos recently, like some of the YouTubers on... Linux YouTubers have been hyping up Gopher and this other thing, like alternatives to HTTP. Node Runner says it would be no more centralized or decentralized. I think of them like magical cables that teleport data. Yeah, exactly. But like, it's still the nodes. The nodes, like you were saying, your argument before was that the internet needs to be more decentralized. Your argument was that internet has single points of failures, right? And any system, like any quantum network like that would have nodes that you connect to, that node would be a single point of failure, right? Just translating the argument you did earlier. Maybe I'm misunderstood the argument you made earlier. Like the single point of failure is that node that you connect to, right? The switch or whatever. Delphina says that Nightblood is radiation resistance. Yeah, right. But I mean, I could see that happening, I suppose, but I haven't really seen. Is there someone working on radiation resistance in real life? Like I know, I've heard that like one of the biggest issues with people traveling to Mars is radiation. All that raw radiation that they'll be bombarded with. I'm guessing someone is trying to see how to do radiation resistance. But as far as I understand, there's no way to do it with like our current understanding of radiation. Banana Waffle Monkey says, alright, I heard naked women. What did I miss? Women. Well, it was just... I don't remember where I heard it. It was just someone who said, if you go back like 100 years, like people dying longer ago than that, like your actual ancestors, like all of them, all the Homo sapiens, you have seen more naked women that they all have combined. Can you imagine that? That's a fucked up thing, right? Isn't it? It's super fucked up. Node Runner, it would help solve logistical issues like undersea cables, yeah. Yeah, and that was my point as well. We could have more connections overseas. Like it would be easier to make it more, like you could spread it out way more. Like distance wouldn't really be same kind of deal, right? You could connect two nodes wherever. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it would be way easier to make it more decentralized. Probably way more expensive for a long time as well. No way for the undersea cables to be spied on anymore. Yeah. I would argue for both public and private internet. Stelfina says, I don't think they are doing radiation resistance. They're doing radiation resistance. It's something that we are working on. It on a biological scale. But in the show they created Nightblood, yeah, because they needed it for deep space missions, exactly. Yeah, and the problem with it is like we can't do any material that stops the radiation from seeping through. As far as I understand, you would need like a lot of power and shit. Like the reason we are in a good spot is just because the internal core is iron of the planet, right? And it's spinning around so fast that it's generating a magnetic field that we use for our compasses, but it also like keeps the radiation out, as far as I understand. Stelfina says that I don't think they are working on radiation resistance. Not on a biological scale. That would be, though, an interesting way to deal with it. If you could, like, not dealing with the radiation itself, but dealing with the damage that radiation deals. That would be an interesting way to deal, I guess. Node Runner says, yeah, you could connect more nodes wherever. You might even be able to run from node to node, like some kind of a node runner. Yeah, I was thinking about that as well, saying node over and over again. Yeah. Yeah, like you could get... Yeah. Or for making... what am I thinking of here? More physical? No, screw that. Maximum power charges? Nope. Skip that. 23 quality? No. That's good. What was I thinking right now? Yeah, because like you connect to your ISP and whatnot, but then there's nothing stopping you from connecting to any ISP or creating your own ISP, like your own node and private nodes. The dark web, like super dark. There is no spying, like you could create your own networks easily as well. Stelfina says they are making a spin-off to The 100. Oh, cool. As an aspiring actress, I've found their casting directors. And I'm looking for an agent. Would be hella cool to work with on a project like that. Oh, yeah, I guess. You like sci-fi and stuff like that. Stelfina says, yeah, the Nightblood metabolizes radiation, exactly.
Hello.
I have no, well, Not metabolizing radiation. That seems... That seems very more phi than psi, I'm guessing. Metabolizing radiation. That's what the show says. Yeah, I agree. But I mean, sometimes you have to suspend your disbelief, right? And to me, it sounds more psi than phi. No, more phi than psi. Like eating radiation. Node Runner says a local network could be very remote. Exactly. Super useful. Super useful stuff. Zelfina says that there's no such thing as metabolizing radiation anytime soon, lol. Well, plants do this already, Banana Waffle Monkey points out, since radiation is a form of light. And plants do that. Huh. So maybe that it is. Maybe that's it. We should all get leaves. Turn our hair into leaves. Well, maybe, you know, just put out an inner layer of our skin, or like put an extra or inner layer of our skin that just turns it out to energy. Banana Waffle Monkey says we just need to figure out how to metabolize. I think that's a fat fingering in a different wavelength or a different length. He's saying, right? Don't we turn light into vitamin D? We do, don't we? Node Runner. I mean, I'm thinking one way to do it is just not to turn it into a biological thing, but if you can grab the actual radiation. I was just thinking dealing with the damage, like a type of medicine that just deals with it. But I mean, if we could just have like a protective suit that turns it into energy, like a solar power. What are the solar power arrays, or something like that? We could take the solar power arrays, but for some other wavelengths, and just grab it, turn it into energy for our microchips, and us becoming cyborgs. Do want to become a cyborg? That would be really super nice. Stelfina says, I meant on a human scale. We need a Franco, the biology version of Elon Musk, to exist before we can achieve that. Maybe. I mean, maybe, I suppose. Banana Waffle Monkey says, we do turn light into vitamin D, or do we turn it into, or does it kickstart a process that produces vitamin D? Oh man, I don't know. That's a valid question. I'm not my strong suit, but seems like that is a valid point. Stelfina have vitamin D deficiency. That's no good. Doesn't sound healthy at all. 572. Oh, it has increased, but it's not very good. So how much does this have? 498. Both of these are viable. Depends on which one I want, I guess. Sylphina says, everyone that lives here does, lol. Well, if everyone does, then why aren't you eating like vitamin pills with vitamin D instead of... I don't even know what happens when you got the deficiency. What's bad about it? Yeah, supplement. Node Runner takes the D every day. Well, congratulations. I meant supplement vitamin D. Oh. Well, that's not equally not anything to congratulate, I think. And that's more my condolences, I guess. It's annoying just unless you love swallowing pills, I guess, instead of swallowing other stuff. You didn't think about that too well, did you, says Delphina. Hey, hey. Alright, we have this website that Banana Waffle Monkey tipped us about. And we go to... Where is... Body armors. We go... Strength Dex. And we want to see... Shaper is what we got, right? We got Shaper. Level of active skill gems. Physical damage taking us cold. Reduced reflected elemental damage. So that is 80 though, and this is not 80. No, it's item level 77. So the only thing I can get are like minions prefixes. Shaper suffix. Recover mana on kill, recover energy shield, increased intelligence. Socketed gems are supported by level of item rarity. Oh, yeah. An increased and spell critical strike. No, that doesn't sound very fun. Oh, I've missed a lot of stuff here. I ate gummies. They are delicious, says Delphina. Wait, you eat gummies? I eat them too, says Nodrunner. Delphina says, I also love the taste of melatonin gummies. My mom tells me not to eat the whole gummy, but I can't resist. Can't. Yeah, I can't resist. Nodrunner says, you can't eat a whole gummy if you can eat a whole gummy if you want. Delphina says, she tells me it's too strong. Nodrunner says, it depends. It might be too strong for her, but just enough for you. Delphina, I literally didn't even work when I had it. Nodrunner says, it doesn't work for everyone. It might even keep you awake. I'm confused. Banana Waffle Monkey is a fucking biological tank when it comes to meds. What does that mean? Biological tank? Let's see. What did Warlord have? 25. You and your minions take reduced reflect. Elemental resist. Strength. Endurance charge. Gain an endurance charge every second if you've been hit recently. But that's 80. That's too high for me. Yeah, both of these. I mean, they're shiny, but they're boring. I can't do anything with them. Except for, you know, just having them shine. Oh, it's flickering. Oh, let's put them here. There we go.
Hello.
Delphina says, I doubt it will keep me awake. It may just do nothing. That's quite a bit of maximum life, though. Let's keep that. That's a lot of life. Ooh, look at that. No wonder I saved that. I know this. Banana Waffle Monkey was on 5 meds at once at one point. Some at their maximum legally prescribable dose, and I felt no different. Holy shit. Is that tier 1 pure or tier 1 hybrid? What, this one? No, hybrid. Tier 2 and tier... Yeah, that is like really good. I totally missed that. I wonder how long it's been laying around. I mean, maybe I should try and craft this instead of either of these. What's this? That's not very good though. Might be able to suffix to prefix that too. Suffix to prefix. If you have the beast. Alright, suffix. Alright, it removes a random suffix and adds a prefix. Yeah. Oh, but I can get rid of these two.
Blessings.
Is that a potato you just posted, Stelifina? Looks like a potato. So let's go. Wait, did I finish in here? I think it's a chicken nugget, she says. Auto mod. Wait, what's this? Auto mod held a message for reason identity. Lau will post it to chat. Lau, I guess. Chicken nugget. Or you could use keep prefix, change suffix, harvest craft. Keeps the life, rerolls the suffixes. That's very good. Stelfina had 5 chicken nuggets today. Nordron says auto mod hates me. Nuglet? What's wrong with Nuglet? Chimkin Nuglet? Identity? I don't know. I just clicked aloud and then it disappeared. But it was the term Nuglet. Identity? I don't know. Put the nuggets in the basket and step away slowly.
Cool winds.
They think it's something else. AI's making mistakes? I would never have guessed. AI's making a mistake? And here's another Stelifina also. Oh man, can you stop doing that? I need to press this allow button. Well, now I can kinda see. Add a suffix, remove random prefix. Nope. Nope. That's the wrong way around. I wanted to do the other way around. But I mean, I guess you do understand. There are probably trolls trying to piss people off, and there are some... Twitch doesn't like some ways of pissing people off, I suppose. I don't mind. Stelfina got that from a meme. There we go. It took like 200 or something. I have 76 fusings. did I have again? Got this, says Banana Waffle Monkey. I'm not so sure. Let's create a unique sword.
The first ones are watching survival.
Pruning a branch can save a tree.
You are truly a survivor.
Node Runner have been eating chicken nuggets all wrong. Oh? Wrong? I discovered the glory and wonder that is the spicy barbecue sauce. I don't like chicken. Personally.
Prove to the first ones
Each their own. I do like deep fried stuff though.
is complete. The first ones are watching survival.
Banana Waffle Monkey wanted B-dubs now. What is B-dubs? You like other meat?
I'm not up to that just
Like beef, not much for pork. Local American chicken wing chain. Ah, fast food, eh? Filipinas is, oh yeah. Good old days when we actually went out to places. Oh right, I can purchase one of these. Oh. Just... where is it? Oh, I... Can I do it now, or...? That's the one. How was it I did this? No, I can't do that now. Banana Waffle Monkey says dine in. I remember places. Oh. It's not that harsh for us here. In Sweden our lockdown is not very strict. People are getting more and more pissed though, and they have changed laws that I did not agree with just because people are doing stupid shit, like especially like teenagers and early 20s something. A lot of them are out partying still every weekend. It's annoying. Stelfina and Banana Waffle Monkey went to Buffalo Wings, Wild Wings, and he ordered the spiciest wings. I'm guessing that is super spicy. I've also watched him eat more wings than I thought was humanly possible. Banana Waffle Monkey says, I remember that. Want to see me do it again? Oh, hello, Quiche Quiche. Nice to see you again. Let's not burn the place down, so just be a little bit careful, I suppose. Node Runner asks, can I move to Sweden and enjoy your freedom? I don't think you would. I think you would find many other things not as free. I think that living in a motorhome is not really viable in Sweden. I wouldn't say that's a freedom issue, I would say it's a freaking cold issue. It's too fucking cold in the winters. And also it would be difficult to interact with society without an address, but getting an address isn't that difficult, I suppose. And I'm pretty sure that Sweden and US have pretty lax visa requirements, right? Moving from Sweden to US and US to Sweden, I think that wouldn't be such a big problem. I'm not seeing, haven't looked in a lot in those laws, like immigration between our countries. I don't think would be a big issue in a way. Stelfina doesn't really want to see Banana Waffle Monkey eat that much. She was a bit concerned. It was hell to get here for Stelfina's family to get to US. Maybe. It's different for different countries, right? All countries have different agreements, right? Imagine just using this with blood magic, says Banana Waffle Monkey, and he's linking Memory Vault, Raitor Crown. Wait, maximum energy shield, maximum mana, increased mana generation rate, fire resists, increased mana reserved, gain armor equal to your reserved mana. Increased mana reserved, that's interesting. Reserving all the mana. Like a lot of extra free armor, eh? Seems interesting. Node Runner here, Estonia is nice. Haven't been myself. Oh, Stelfina moved to 3 other countries before getting to US, and she was born on the way. Nice. Travel baby. Chicken? Yeah, getting energy shield helps, like an energy shield build with blood magic makes sense, I suppose. I mean, the 10% increased mana reserved is a little bit annoying on the helmet, I suppose, but other than that, fun gaining armor. Banana Waffle Monkey says you can still cheat out an aura or two with unique essence where more mortal conviction. Yeah, guess. Suppose. Damn arcade again.
Not up to that just yet.
Or you go LL and reserve life for your auras. LL. Low life. Oh, right, low life. Ooh. Can you go low life blood magic? 35% or less life. Take pain attunement too. I've been thinking about doing low life sometime, perhaps.
My mana is gone.
Would be fun. All the free damage. Go this way. As long as you're stacking power over attacks per second. Ah, the blood magic thing, right?
The stars watch and envy us
And probably go for Leech. Alright, because the every life you spend you gain. A low life. Low life, like you could get a lot of auras and stuff with that. Sounds like fun. Like an aura build. Heralds and whatnot. Probably. Oh, could they just remove Baron from the game? That would make me happy. These maps. They're not. Wait. Why isn't it gone? I mean, it isn't fun, it's just annoying. I'm guessing it's because of the build I'm playing as well. It gets completely crippled. Like a build where you actually have control over your character, it's not such a big deal, I suppose. And for ranged characters, it probably doesn't matter at all. Yeah, because you still spend mana, says Banana Waffle Monkey.
I'm not up to that just yet.
With my totems, they don't care about mana, so I can place them wherever I want. And they still cast. Very nice. Totems builds. Like there is in Warframe as well, there is an enemy that is similar, that just halts the game to a stop. And Warframe is even more about speed than this game, believe it or not. There's an enemy that just grinds the game to a halt, which is just super annoying. Nullifier. And it's similar in a way. You have to play around it or get screwed. Or like the Banana Off Monkey says, sort of like socketed movement skill has no movement cost, mana cost. On the sword that you rolled, yeah, that would be great. Or Flicker Strike, yeah. Making it free. I'm guessing blood magic would work fine as well, I guess. Be right back, says Banana Wolf Monkey's gonna go scour for some chicken. Time to do some looting, yo. Vegetarian for 6 years, I think, where I started eating meat again. Now since then I pretty much only like cow, beef. Don't really like pork. It can be alright, I guess, if it's cooked well enough. The proper beef steak. That is my go-to. Hamburgers. Like hamburgers. Interestingly that they're called hamburgers when they're not made of ham. It's the German Hamburg thing. Like a Bratwursters or whatnot. Node thinks that meat eating is important for health. I disagree with that. I know a lot of vegetarians that have great health. I think eating, like, if you take meat away from the equation, I think eating is important for health. I don't think you have to eat meat to be healthy. I don't understand why that would be the case. I didn't have any problems with my health. I actually, when I became a vegetarian, my health became even better. Because I didn't eat as much crap as I used to. And also, I'm pretty sure that people react differently to different things. Like, we're built differently. Like, right? Like, for example, when I stopped sugar, that fixed my sleeping problems. Well, not fixed completely, but there was a significant change. I'm sleeping way better since I stopped sugar. But I've talked to other people who has sleeping issues, and they say they've tried to stop eating sugar, but it did nothing for them. So I think that a lot of like what you eat is up to individual. Like, you have to be your own little scientist. Try. How do I feel when I eat this for a while? Is my health, like, am I feeling better or worse? Nodrunner says it doesn't have any evidence, but it logically follows that we're omnivores. Therefore, eating meat is probably important. Well, that kind of implies... I don't agree with that logic at all, because omnivore is a human construct, like how we categorize things, right? That is our categorization, and that would imply that there's like only 3 ways to exist. I mean, and that's not really how the world works, right? Not all omnivores eat the same things. And even if omnivores was an actual thing, like, I don't agree with you that it is. Not really. I think it's a useful categorization from our human, like, we like to categorize things. I think it's useful for that, but even if, like, being an omnivore was precedes our categorization, like if it was a real thing, I still would say that it doesn't follow logically that you would have. It just says that you can eat all these things. Like, because with that logic it follows we're omnivores, therefore everything we can eat is healthy, and that's just not the case, right? Like, it's more how much of stuff you eat, I'm pretty sure. Like, we can eat cheese, right? But if I only eat cheese and nothing else, that's not healthy. Like, even eating cheese to every meal, right? It doesn't follow logically that just because we can eat something, it's healthy.
I have some good news.
Also I also disagree, of course, because of my own anecdotal experience. As well as having met people who seems to be just, their health seems to be working out just fine as vegetarians or vegans. And I've met people who eat a lot of meat that are unhealthy. Like, it's all anecdotal, of course. Oh. It's all anecdotal.
My mana is gone.
Then again, there's no proof, but I can. What am I looking for? It's easier to disprove something than to prove something, I suppose. But I would agree that eating meat could be I mean, it's not unhealthy eating meat. Like, I wouldn't consider a hamburger an unhealthy meal, but I would also not argue that it's important for health. I would argue that it's a healthy meal, but there are other healthy meals. There we go. Yeah, that's the way I would put it. Yeah, eating some meat can bring a healthy meal. There are many ways to have a healthy meal. Many different foodstuffs. Ooh, shiny. Ancient orb. On the map. Right, unique maps. I need to do the unique maps. Yeah, food and exercise. The most healthy thing you can eat is probably something that tastes bad. Like, all the things tastes good is stuff that we tend to eat in excess, right? Excess is usually, if you're looking for something unhealthy, it's not what it is that you're eating, it's just if you're eating too much of it. That's my belief. Yeah, there we go. Belief. Can put it down as. Node runners just like sugar. Yeah, it's like evolutionary. We can look at sugar. Wait, actually, let me read the full message first. Like sugar, we can eat it, but our bodies are not developed to handle the amount that we do have in the modern world. Yeah. Clearly, sugar provides a lot of energy for our bodies and was probably valuable for our survival in the part. Yeah, in the past. Exactly. It's like the reason why we find something tasty is because we need it, right? Like, we need sugar. Sugar is super useful. It's just we liked it so much, so we went a little bit overboard. Like, it was probably scarce way back in our, well, I'm pretty sure that they know that for a fact, that it was scarce. Like, evolutionarily speaking. That would explain... Oh, fuck. Would indeed explain why we like it so much. Meat in the past was probably a great source of fat and proteins. Become unhealthy in large... Yeah, I'm pretty sure that most things become unhealthy in large amounts. Like, you can drink yourself to death from drinking water. It is possible. Can do it, right? But yeah, I agree. Meat was and is today a great source of fat and protein, right? It was then and it is now a great source of fat and protein. My point is just that I wouldn't say that it's important for health because there are other sources of fat and protein. That's all I'm saying. Like for me it wasn't like I've heard a lot of vegetarians that say that, oh, meat is so gross. I'm like, no it isn't. I like meat. I became a vegetarian was more I did want to vote with my wallet and I didn't like how the meat industry was doing things. I still don't, so I still don't eat a lot of meat. I eat maybe the equivalent of 1 burger a week, perhaps 2 burgers a week. Not the big fat burgers, just like a regular burger, something like that. Yeah, and I'm happy with that. No need to be... Life becomes easier when you eat meat. Like going to restaurants and stuff, when we did go to restaurants. Life became easier. Also, as Nodrunner said, a great source of fat and proteins. Tasty and delicious and useful source of fat and protein, I suppose. Nodrunner says, now we have non-animal based meat. Well, no, like they grow meat in the lab, but that's super expensive and it tastes like shit, I've heard. That's not readily available, not yet. They've got like fake bacon and fake chicken and all that. It's all made of like soy and mushrooms, though. So it's not meat, it's mushrooms that looks like meat and tastes a little bit like meat. Like corn and soy. Yeah, corn and soy, it's a lot of it, right? And I still eat those. I like that. Make a mean vegetarian curry from corn. Mushrooms and vegetables. A lot of broccoli. Nodrunner says, I mean, it's not real meat, but they are trying to grow real meat in the labs, right? And it might not taste as good. Well, that's a matter of perspective, matter of taste, right? Some people think it tastes better, some people think it tastes worse. I mean, I like both. For me, it's more, I'm in a different mood. Sometimes I'm in the mood for meat and sometimes in the mood for corn. And there are alternatives, yeah. Banana Wolf Monkey asks, did Stella stick out? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe she did. Maybe she didn't. She didn't say anything. Oh, right. I almost forget. What are the best arguments about how to handle racism and, well, politics in the classroom? I mean, oh, that's actually a valid point. Like handling racism, like handling the kids being mean to other kids. That is something. I didn't think about it like that. I was just thinking about the political discussion itself. You know, if one kid is being mean to another kid, then you need to do something about it as a teacher, right? Let's see here. She argued, this banana waffle monkey, like someone else argued, that it isn't tolerable because in allowing it to any extent you're not providing a safe environment for the students. Students of the groups that the person is racist against. And it's your job to protect these historically marginalized groups. Well, isn't it your job to protect everyone? I mean, I would agree, like, you shouldn't have, like, if a kid is being mean to another kid, you shouldn't allow that because that hinders learning, right? And there are many arguments for it, but, you know, kid being racist, I mean, why should you value one student or group of students over another group of students? I don't let me see here again. You're not providing a safe environment. But by shutting it down, it's not a safe environment for the racist kid. Right? So, isn't your goal to have as safe an environment for all the kids? So it's not about dealing with the racism itself, it's about dealing with actual behavior against another person, and the behavior can be like bullying is bullying. It doesn't, like, you don't have to deal with the political opinions of the kid to stop a kid from bullying another kid. Banana Waffle Monkey says, I didn't think of it until post hoc, but I think I hate the word protect. Ooh. That's an interesting perspective as well. Well, I would argue for it being a teacher's responsibility to protect kids from bullying. Probably. Kind of see your point. There are some problems, like protecting from what? I mean, protecting from political viewpoints. Ooh, I do not agree with that. I mean, political viewpoints should be challenged, right? Discussed and talked about. That is how they evolve and become better. So protect from viewpoints, that's not protecting, that's coddling. I don't know. That was her perspective, yeah. Yeah, well, that wasn't very convincing, not to me. I don't know. Seems like it's a double standard kind of thing. It doesn't really work in an ethical trying to... Yeah, I don't like double standards. Yeah, exactly. Node Runner puts it quite poignant. Racists aren't people. They are subhuman. That's why it's okay to kill zombies and Nazis in video games. No. They're not zombies and Nazis. They're not people. They're monsters. Just like in this game. There are only monsters. I mean, I don't know. Isn't it okay to kill like anybody in video games? I've played GTA. Like, it's okay to kill anybody in video games. Right? Like I was a pacifist for a long time as a kid, but then I heard this argument that said, well, what if no one stopped the Nazis? And that's just, it's like, yeah, I guess, yeah, it's kind of a simple simple way to look at a world. Like, weapons kill people, weapon bad. Oof, oof, I died. That was fast. Nodrunner says, yeah, but zombies and Nazis are the traditional justified killings. Is it? I thought orcs were traditional justified killings. Well, and skeletons and zombies. Yeah, it's like monsters are the traditional stuff, I think. Then we have like, then came like Red Alert and stuff like that, and then it wasn't Nazis. Then you were killing either Allies or Soviets, but it wasn't like killing either side. Wasn't, they were like, you could play either as Allies or Soviets, right? There were no, it was up to the player. I don't know. Ah, we've got a Doom. What was it called, the other one? I had one game that was just about killing, like early game that was just about killing Nazis.
My mana is gone.
World of Warcraft. In World of Warcraft. Oh, I was thinking about Warcraft, like we were talking about traditionally. I wasn't thinking about World of Warcraft, just Warcraft. Same, I guess. Orcs are more human than zombies and Nazis. I guess. I don't know. It depends on your definition, right? My definition, no. Orcs are orcs. Humans are humans. Like, they have green skin and everything. Wolfenstein, there we go. Wolfenstein was about killing Nazis, and Doom was about killing demons. There we go. Demons as well. We've been killing demons for ages, traditionally. I would argue killing Nazis is killing humans, though. Just as all the others killing humans. I define them all as humans. It kind of depends on your perspective. I guess.
I'm not up to that just yet.
And I don't mind killing Nazis. Killing Nazis is fun, right? In video games. I'm pretty sure that killing in real life is not fun. For some people. I'm pretty sure that I would not find it enjoyable to kill people in real life. I remember I was gonna give, yeah, like a long time ago, like late teens, I was gonna give my then, at the time, girlfriend a piercing in the eye. And I was like, I was there with the needle just... And I think the experience was more horrifying and traumatic for me than it was for her. Like, I just couldn't do it. It took like a long time, and I had to like give it many tries and like mentally prepare, and I wasn't crying, but almost crying. Oh man, it was rough. Yeah, I would not enjoy killing people, hurting people like that. Oof, oof. Nodrunner says, I mean, they have a personality. Well, not the video games people, but real people, like all real people, have a personality, a history, feelings. They're just not a target that you can kill without feeling bad about it. In video games, I can. The video games are not reality. Like, I like poking fun at this, like saying that we're killing monsters this game. And we're obviously killing people, right? They call them monsters, but they are obviously being people in the game, right? We break, and the whole heist thing is we break into their home or their organization or whatever. We kill them and take their stuff. But they're monsters, right? But in video games, they're not real. So I mean, I can kill kittens in a video game and feel good about it. But I mean, I wouldn't in real life. Like I can watch movies about serial killing. I can watch Dexter and I can root for Dexter in the TV show Dexter. But I wouldn't in real life. In real life I would not root for Dexter. I'm not for vigilanteism. Right? Nodrunner says, I've heard drone operators can get PTSD. Ah, it doesn't surprise me. I've heard, I've not been part of the military, but I've heard like one of the issues of the military is that a lot of people, when they're aiming at the enemy or whatever, they just whoop, shoot up in the air because they can't do it. I don't know the truth of that. I've just heard it, so I don't. But I could imagine. Banana Waffle Monkey says, yeah, if I ever get a draft letter, I'm sending a letter back saying that says fuck off. No need to be rude about it. Tropical Island. Let's not antagonize. Let's not antagonize the organization that has all the weapons. Right? that seems like a bad idea. What if they keep a database? What if they save all the letters? And then you have a coup. And they go around shooting people. I mean... Oops. I mean, it depends on the context, I suppose. What if your country becomes invaded by someone that you like 100% disagree politically with? I don't know. I'm not completely sure about your politics, but let's say ISIS takes over like the whole world, the half world. Let's say the Third World War and the Nazis are winning. Right? Would you still like and they're at the border, you have like, would you still say fuck off? Should never say never, eh? Nodrunner says, let's not antagonize the people who have a monopoly on force. Well, they do not have a monopoly on force. I love that saying. It's where the fists take on where the words no longer suffice. Right? Anybody can use force. I'm pretty sure. Banana Waffle Monkeys linking Emperor's Vigilance, Steel Kite Shield, lots of armor and quite a bit of energy shield. High chance to block. 90% chance to block spell damage, increased armor and energy shield, yeah. 10% increased maximum life, nice. Cannot block while you have no energy shield. Damage from blocked hits cannot bypass energy shield. Damage from unblocked hits always bypasses energy shield. Glancing blows. Cannot block when you have no energy shield. Damage from unblocked hits always bypass. That's interesting. It's like it separates, so you have two different health pools. Interesting indeed. Okay, oh, I need 3 now. Is that it? But the map is too low. Yeah, I mean, in the perfect world I would want to see, like, if I had Thanatos power,
I'm not up to that just yet.
would probably, instead of like destroying all people, I would destroy like all weaponry. Tools that are just made for weaponry. Like change the world so it just don't work anymore. Well, actually, I need to think about what I'm semantically saying there. How the fuck would we... like, kill the cows? How would I get my hamburgers if we can't kill anything? How the fuck are we gonna build a tree if we... build a house if we can't cut down a tree? Like, is that... I wouldn't consider an axe a weapon in that context, right? Maybe it's just about harming... I would make it so you can't harm another being. Human being. Here we go. Other beings, I don't care a lot about. I mean, I do care about them, but... Banana Waffle Monkey would destroy Anchovy. That is some proper hatred. So we got world peace. Getting rid of anchovies. Getting rid of anchovies. Well, world peace is a bad word for it because that is not what I'm aiming for. Like, how do we achieve peace? Entropy. Just kill everybody and then we've got peace, right? Rest in peace, humanity. I wouldn't do that. Probably. Probably I wouldn't do that. Man, I think I'm gonna have some anchovies for lunch. Actually, I don't remember the last time I had any anchovies. Can't even imagine what they taste like. Trying to, but I just don't remember. kind of curious now, since all this hate towards anchovies makes me curious. What is there to dislike that much? I don't even remember disliking it. I think I do like it, but I can't say for sure.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Oh right, it was just the pizza place thing that he talked about the other day. Like leaving the cans open and stuff like that. Node Runner says, I thought you were sugar-free, but you're eating Swedish fish? Oh man. That was almost that joke went that way, but got it. Yeah, I missed those fish. We're here. Increase global physical damage. Heavy strike. 20% chance to deal double damage. Very nice. .62 maximum life. Reflects. Lightning. Nope. Yeah, why not? Oh, because it was expensive.
Exile?
In a distant dream,
Oops.
scraps with the promise of treasure wait to be sprung.
Cool winds.
Yeah, there's a lot of people not liking like herring. Herring? Herring. That's a Swedish thing. I love it. It's like not really pickled. You put them in like a saw and let them just float in there for some time, and then you eat it. It's super tasty. Eat it every midsummer and every Christmas. Super tasty. Remember, I spent Christmas in New Zealand, driving around and just having a good time, and we had like a typical Swedish Christmas dinner, you know, making meatballs and all that, the tiny prince sausages and whatnot. And we actually we went to this big supermarket, and we found by the like international market thing, we found some actual Swedish herring imported from Sweden, and we were so happy. Yeah, the herring, yeah. So happy we were, because we hadn't seen it at all lately, but there it was. Abba's herring.
I'm not up to that just yet.
And we gotta kill this one first. That's the reason. Fuck, this is gonna be tough. Can you stop doing that, please? Where did she go? Fuck, I lost track of her. She's in this mesh, I suppose. Oh. That looks like an explosion I don't want to be a part of. Mahi mahi? I don't think I've ever tasted mahi mahi. In general, I'm not a big fish person. I like salmon. Yes, and I don't know what to call it, but yeah, the raw herring and sauce, I suppose. I like that as well. Let's go to Arena or Dark Forest. Arena. Mental equilibrium, that's not okay. Reflect and reflect, that's not okay either. Ah, that's boring. Node Runner says, that reminds me, I've smoked salmon to eat. Oh, that's nice. I haven't had salmon for a while. Wait, is this a map? Undead. Avoid elemental ailments. Or was it before, you mean? Two reflects. I didn't even read the rest of it. It was just reflect, reflect. Nope, not doing that. Yeah. Double reflect EE. Oof, oof. I am doing physical now because of the rage. So I'm doing both physical and elemental damage. It doesn't say, but since I don't have any rage at the moment, but do I want to bring anything from here? I gotta run this breachstone. I haven't done that yet. Ah, let's just go. Come on, Einar, let's go. All right.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Now I remember, I don't like this map. I always feel confused of where to go. How many times can you hear hear this same song before it gets old, asks Snowrunner. Yeah, it depends on the song. And how frequent, yeah. It's just not the number, it's the frequency as well. I agree with that. And the song. I made a mistake of putting One Winged Angel as my ringtone on my phone for a bit. That was a mistake. Can't hear a song enough to get tired from it. Another Empower support, congratulations. That was a long time ago, so I can still listen to One Winged Angel now and have a good time. Like I remember when I first heard Graveyard, Swedish band, like, very inspired by old rock, I suppose. Great band. I'll listen to like They had 2 albums at a time, and I listened to both of the albums on repeat for like, not the full album maybe, but like I heard every song certainly like maybe 3 times a week, every song 3 times a week for months, and that was fine. Banana Waffle Monkey is leveling 3 empowers and enlighten and unenlightened right now. Nice. That is some sweet stuff to level.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Good maps are good. Well, good loot is good. I mean. Is this where I came from? No, it wasn't. Always get so scared when I start seeing those flame circles start growing on the ground. It's like, oh no. But then it turned out just fine. Where are we going? Going, my dude. This room is just going mental, eh? This arena. Just mental. Pretty sure we had 2 like small beyond bosses. Mini bosses or whatnot. Let's check out the loot. Yeah, a little bit of loot in here. Just a tiny little bit. Like, the loot is down here, but I have to run like a way over here. Just, oh man. Back and forth we run. I've also been listening a lot to like lo-fi hip-hop stuff recently. And that is just in the periphery, so I can listen to that for how long. I mean, it's not active listening what I'm doing, it's just I'm having it on in the background when I'm coding, right?
Not up to that just yet.
I don't know if that counts. Maybe it will get old. I've listened to many different songs, it's just I don't recognize the songs that I'm listening to, so I don't know. I was way into music. like when I was younger than I am now. Still into it, but it's just like I listen when I said when I'm coding, but then it's more I use it as a tool for my focus. But I'm listening to music every time I'm driving. I think I need a good context, like I'm listening to music if I'm riding the train or driving or something like that. Just sitting around and listening to music, I don't do that often anymore. Maybe I should give it a try. Maybe that's a good focus practice, you know, just taking it easy. Just listening to music for like listening to an album, taking an hour, not doing anything, just listen. I've done that in ages. Ages, I tell you. Too much stuff to do on the internet, I suppose. What kind of cell phone do you use, asks Nodrunner. I'm using a Samsung 7, I think? I think it's a Samsung 7. I'm that person in the family. I just take whatever the rest of the family leave behind. As long as it's not an Apple. Can't stand Apple. I really want one of those. I'm thinking about actually buying my own phone. For once, I haven't done that in years and years and years. They have a tendency to break or get lost. So I usually find it a waste of money, since I just break them and lose them. But I really want one of the Linux phones. One of the open source phones. Cheaper one probably I'll buy. Nodrunner suggests Drink the Sea by the Glitch Mob. Great album. What kind of music is there? Drink the Sea by the Glitch Mob. Banana Waffle Monkey suggests it too. I mean, I did listen to that other thing you recommended. It was good for coding. The mushroom people, I think. Infected mushroom, there we go. And that was good. It was similar to the lo-fi thing. It was just... it was a little bit more pronounced. But it was still good to have in the background for coding. Beep and boobs. It's beep and boobs. Never heard that explained for music earlier. Electronic. Yeah. I'll look into it. Electronic is not in my background, but I did like electronic mushrooms, so maybe. But I was kind of thinking, the idea of just sitting around and listening to music, it would be kind of like just something like Opeth, you know, something where it takes your attention and takes like almost work to listen to it. Nodrunner asks, do you use F-Droid or the Google Play Store? I use the Google Play Store. I don't use my phone a lot. Like I have that Flow Free, if you know that game, on it. Just for like... if I need to escape reality for a little bit, if I can't just be bored, I can't manage to be bored or whatever, or need to be around a lot of people and want to shut them out, I just do that on the phone just to shut people out, I suppose.
Judging by the trail of
Well, I've been curious because there are other ways to, like, I'm pretty sure you can do some sort of Linux thing to change away from Android altogether, I think. I was considering doing that. It's just like my distro trying out. It's not in my interest right now. It will be in the future. I have the idea of doing it. Node Runner has totally de-googled his phone. Yeah, I know. You de-googled everything, right? And only use open source apps. Nice. Yeah, I did place the that civilization game on the phone, the open source one, OpenCiv or whatever it's called. That seems really great. I'm thinking that I might put it on a computer instead, though. It feels like playing it on a phone it's not for me. I think I'd rather play it on a computer. There's nothing wrong with using Android, it's an open source project. Yeah, but I mean... Yeah, I wouldn't say there's anything wrong with using any operating system. I am a little bit of an... what if you can run Manjaro, right? But not the same. It's like someone said, I mean, yeah, Android is Linux, but I mean, it's not Linux. Not really. Someone pointed out. I mean, I tried to log into my Android phone once. I couldn't just like that. I installed like a terminal, but the terminal wasn't... I don't know. It wasn't anything like the Linux that I'm now used to. It's also voting with your wallet kind of thing, you know?
I'm not up to that just yet.
So I'm probably getting that, what's it called, the Pine phone, I think it's called. That's the cheap one, right? And the Librem is the expensive one. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's it. Node Runner says, I have the Pine phone as well. Oh, nice. How is it? It's actually, I'm curious. Like, how well does it work? Can you play a game on it? Can you surf the internet on it? That is, yeah, I'm using my phone. I think I'm running the Brave browser on my phone. Yeah, I'm running Brave on my phone. It is not usable for Node Runner as a daily driver yet. So what makes it not usable? Like, can surf the internet, can play like some simple games on it. Can you run Doom? Asks Banana Waffle Monkey. Yes, says Node Runner. Well, I kinda don't want to run Doom, but I guess you can. I mean, as far as I've heard, it's more like a computer than a phone, right? Since it's just a regular Linux distro, it's just you run it on the phone. Node Runner asks, would you like some screenshots I took? Sure. If you care to share, then I wouldn't mind at all. Go off some screenshots of the phone. Screenshots, eh? So what? But why don't it work like a daily driver for you? Maybe it's, I don't know how much you use your phone. I don't use mine a lot. Oh, but fuck! I have one big issue. Like, we have a two-factor authentication thing. Yeah, two-factor authentication deal in Sweden that's used to interact like with your, like any banking that I want to do or whatnot. And I'm pretty sure that would not work on this. I wonder if I can get the Swedish keyboard. Deathmatch Boil. Oh man. What window manager is that? Yeah, this is the game Sonotic. It runs, but it's not super playable with a touchscreen. I can imagine first-person shooters, like a lot of games with touchscreens, are just, I mean, it's looking good. It's the OS called SXMO. It uses GWM. Yeah, it's a suckless distro. Oh fuck, I didn't even know that there was a suckless distro. That makes a lot of sense on a phone though, I suppose. It kinda looked like DWM. I didn't know you could run that on the phone. I mean, these buttons seem super small, like fat fingering this seems like that'll happen. Yeah, I've got to look into that before. That is the one thing that would make it not work as a daily driver for me. Because I do my banking I do on the phone. Is that awesome Windman? Asks Colgate on tap. No, this is Sonotic on SXMO. It's a suckless distro, eh? You don't use those buttons. Oh, right, no. You don't do that in suckless. I forget, I'm having i3. I can use them, but I mean, you don't. Not really. You have key bindings for it. It's, yeah, in DWM, this is just an information bar, which actually makes sense. I mean, this usage right here, I don't need that. That's not very suckless. Have this clickable. Like this, however, is useful. The little thingamajig up here for Steam, I suppose. The tray There we go. That's what it's called. So, hello by the way, Colgate in on tap. How are you doing today? It's only a 150 pine phone. It's only $150 phone. Yeah, that is a cheap phone, right? Worst case scenario, you can use it as a single board computer with a built-in battery backup. Yes, indeed. You can indeed. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's dirt cheap. But I really would want it to replace my phone, and the only thing, there's only one app I need, so I will look into that. I'm guessing since it's an all official like that, I mean, well, all official people are usually incompetent. Oh, right, I got this. Are you doing your Epic Game Store weeklies? Application could not be started. No, I don't want to see. But it's still starting, isn't it? Yes, I want to see information. But it's starting. That's so weird. I heard... Wait, didn't they... I need to check that if they made a Epic Game Store Linux thing, I think. Metro, eh? I hear good things. For the King? Looks interesting. Node Runner says I have all the Epic games ever released. Oh, wow. Do you know about Sailfish OS? No miracles here, says Colgate in on tap. Yeah, miracles are not a real thing, right? I've heard the name Sailfish OS. I don't know about it. You can run Sailfish on the Pine phone. I am 18 plus. Getting some free games here. 2 this week. It's usually just the 1, but... Halcyon 6. Alright, let's shut you down.